Hello, Libra. Anastasia here. Today we're going to do a very different reading from what I usually do, because usually I use tarot and oracle and Lenormand cards. But today for divination, I'm going to try to use a very old Chinese system of divination, I Ching. And I know that a lot of you are familiar with this system, and you may even be an expert in I Ching. However, to me, this is new and exciting, and I just basically started getting into it this year. I heard about it, I kind of knew the basics, but I never really realized how much depth there is to I Ching, and that it's actually connected. You know, you can draw some correspondences there with tarot as well, and astrology as well. So it fascinates me, all the correlations you can draw from different systems. Anyway, Libra. So in the beginning of this year, I watched a few videos by Benabel Wen, and I went ahead and ordered her book that she released recently, and this thing showed up at my doorstep. Yeah, this monstrosity. Let me just say that it's a little intimidating, okay? When I first saw it, I was like, that's a lot of reading material, and I did not know what I was getting into. So I am going to take a one step at a time approach with this book, because there's a lot of history in this book and a lot of stories, and I don't think that I need to know exactly everything. There's a lot of detailed explanations about everything in this particular book, and I don't need to know everything to start divining with this system, because the meat of it, the actual book of changes, is included in this gray section of the book, and I will show you what I mean by that. Okay, so Libra, basically I Ching dates back to like 2600 years before Christ. Okay, that's a very ancient system. That's the origins of it, people say. And the Chinese system is based on the feminine and masculine energies, the yin and the yang. And basically, these two energies combined together form different combinations. Depending on how much yin or yang energy you get in each combination, you get certain elements. These combinations of elements lead you to a certain like meaning, like a certain message. All right, and by message I mean these hexagrams. So this is a trigram and this is a trigram, like the three lines, and then together they form a hexagram. And there are 64 combinations of these lines. So there are 64 different hexagrams, or 64 different messages basically. But aside from that, you can also get changing lines in I Ching, and I will explain later what this is. And these changing lines will also change the meaning of the hexagram you get. So Libra, basically we're just going to go through quick reading here, very basic introduction, a very basic reading. I'm going to ask a general question, a most important energy for Libra to be aware of in the month of January. We're going to throw the Chinese coins here and see what comes up for us, and then read from the book. Okay, so I'm going to use these Chinese coins. The side with the 4 hieroglyphs is the heads, and then this side is the tails. So for each heads side we get 3 points, and for the tails we get 2 points. So each time I throw all 3 coins. I ask the same question, and I do it 6 times. And so for each throw, if we get an odd number, I will draw a straight line which is masculine energy. And then if we had an even number, I will draw an interrupted line, which is feminine energy. And so starting from the bottom going up, we will throw coins 6 times, and depending on what we get, we will have 6 lines, and then we will look up our hexagram and the meaning of it. All right, so let's begin. Libra, 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 Libra. This is where I'm going to be writing everything down. Let me just clear this real quick. Whew. Okay. I'm excited to see what comes up for us today, Libra. Okay. We're going to write our numbers here. Okay. Universe, please guide beautiful Libras and let us know what is the most important message for Libra in January 2024. What's the most important message for Libra in January 2024? All right, so we received 2 tails and 1 heads. So this is 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 3 is 7. So the first line is 7, okay? So I'm going to draw a straight line uninterrupted. And do it 5 more times. All right, most important message for Libra Collective in January 2024. Okay, we have 2 heads and a tail. 6 plus 2 equals 8. So far, so good, Libra. So I'm going to draw an interrupted line because this is an even number. And if we get a 6 or a 9, those are called changing energies or changing lines. And then I will explain what that means basically in a minute. Most important energy for Libra in January 2024. Most important message. Oh, there we go. We got a 9. So, the 9 is basically, you know, the only scores you can get here is 6, 7, 8, and 9. The 6 and the 9 are the very, like, the first and the last energy, so they're kind of changing. So 6 is the first of the even numbers that just basically the energies just switched from odd to even, and then 9 is the last one of the odd ones, so the energy is about to switch to the even number again after that. So I'm just going to mark 9 over here and then draw a straight line and then put an X next to it because this line is the changing line, and I just want to make you will see what I mean by that later. All right, main energy for Libra in January 2024, please. Thank you. Ooh, we have a 6. Okay, so that's an interrupted feminine energy, and I'm going to draw a X next to it because it's changing as well. All right, most important message energy for Libra in January 2024. Thank you. Okay, so we have 2 plus 2, 4, plus 3, 7, 7, and a straight line. And then one more time. Most important message for Libra in January 2024. Please, thank you so much. Okay, I hope it's not too loud. 6 plus 2 is 8, and that's a feminine energy. Okay, so here we go, Libra. Here we have 2 trigrams, this and this. This is going to be our bottom trigram. This is going to be our top trigram. And we're going to look each one up, and then we're going to see where they intersect and what hexagram that is. Okay, so here's the book. Basically, each trigram is an element. It forms an element. And here's the chart. So in the bottom we have, let me just tear this off so it's easier to work with this. In the bottom we have straight, interrupted, straight. So I think that's a fire. Yep, that's a fire. Okay, so right there This is a fire energy. Fire. And then that's the opposite. I think that's water, because it interrupted, straight, interrupted. I think that's water. This is new to me, so I may be wrong. Yeah, that's water. Okay. Okay, so the two intersect right here. Ooh, Libra, we have the fire, okay, intersecting right there with the water. Okay, ooh, Libra, this is number 63. This is actually a very exciting hexagram. Now, we have two changing lines here, Libra, in this hexagram. Whenever we have a hexagram that does not have any changing lines, if they were all even and odd, none of them were 6 or 9s, that means that's a constant or locked in hexagram. That means energy is stable and it's not changing right now. This hexagram, we have two changing lines. The third one, we count from the bottom, the third line and the fourth line are changing. So they're changing into a new hexagram, right? So basically after the odd comes an even, right? So basically this hexagram, two of the lines are already changing into a new combination. So basically this hexagram would be the next energy, the next hexagram we would get is these two remain the same, and then the straight one changes into the interrupted, and then this interrupted changes into a straight, same here, and then interrupted here. So we have a new hexagram, and that is the so that's a thunder on the bottom. Thunder, feeling thunder. Lightning and thunder, 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 thunder. Okay, and then the top one is straight, and interrupted, and that is a lake. Okay, lake. So thunder and a lake. Thunder, hopefully I'm right here, and the lake is 17. Inspiring followers. Woo, Libra, inspiring followers. That's a 17. Well, when we have only two changing lines, we really are still mostly in this energy here. We haven't quite changed over into this energy here. And so what we would need to do is look up the meaning of this hexagram and look up the meaning for the fourth line, the top line here, which is fourth. So that message will be more prevalent for us. So by that, what I mean by that is, let's find it. Let's go to number 63. Okay, what do we have here? 54. 63 is almost the last one, and I can tell you that that is like approaching an end, completing something, hexagram, nearing an end, or nearing completion, right? So or after ending. It's basically ending and what happens right after ending. That's the name of the hexagram in this particular translation. Now, it's important to take into consideration that there are so many translations of Chinese and different interpretations of these hexagrams, because this is ancient Chinese language that was translated, and sometimes even translated twice, first into another language, then into English. And so this is translation by Benabel Wen. She's, I think, Taiwanese originally. I believe that's what she said in the beginning, if I remember correctly. So she actually does know Chinese, and that's her interpretation here. Now that's also kind of based on other common interpretations after the ending here. So, but I know that there's some others. For example, there's a book here that I have. It's kind of like, here it says completion and after, like after the victory. So victory, completion, accomplishment of something, and then right after what happens, you know, to sustain that, or whatever happens after your completion. But Libra, this is a really good hexagram to receive, Libra. This is, let's see. First of all, the main meaning of this hexagram, it says, anticipate pitfalls before advancing. How might your actions affect others? A noble leader puts the people's welfare before self-interest. You have done what you have done. The matter now is what happens next. It is the time after the ending and at the start of a new beginning. So basically, this meaning to me is it's the time after an ending and at the start of a new beginning. Let's see, it says here, when it comes to receiving favor from the divine, the extravagance of your offerings does not matter. The sincerity of your heart and matters more. Okay, so basically this is auspicious omen for minor affairs. Gains to be had. That's the general meaning, is an auspicious omen for minor affairs, some sort of accomplishment, Libra. But we're going to look, there are two changing lines. So this energy is not constant, it's already changing. We're going to look at the top line here, which is line number 4. And then we're going to see what that line says here. And then I'm going to look in another book for a different interpretation, because sometimes I don't understand these interpretations. So I'm still looking for a book that would kind of give me most information. Fine silks become rags, it says here. Okay, take caution throughout the day. That's the 4th line. Every golden era must come to an end, and how it ends depends on the ruler. Here, day can be symbolic of an era or a chapter in your life or path. So we understand that we have approached a certain end of one chapter. And I think that's a thing that's been present for a lot of Libras this January, that there is an ending of one chapter and the beginning of a new one. Although you are enjoying prosperity and good fortune, be cautious and stay modest. In spite of abundance, fruition, and a verdant, picturesque landscape in your current line of sight, there are elements of decay in the situation at hand. So I think basically what this means for us is when you reach the peak of something, like a mountain, you know, what comes after that? A decline again, right? So once you reach the peak, celebrate, but be aware that life is cyclical, right? Life is always a change. So whenever you have a high, after the high comes low. And so to sustain the high, you have to take certain measures. Now, I know this interpretation is kind of confusing. So let's see what this book says here for 63. And I'm going to read the 3rd line too, just to see what else we can get from that. Completion and after. So after the victory, restoring order and avoiding complacency. Okay. All seems successfully resolved, but take great care. A brief success is not a final victory, and further confusion could easily follow. This pot will boil dry or spill without great diligence and firmly honorable conduct. So basically, yes, you have a gain, yes, you have a victory, but if you start behaving inappropriately, following and, you know, not modestly, as it says in the other book, stay modest and stay true to your, you know, stay true to yourself and to others, because, you know, this victory can also kind of spoil you. The 4th line here is be careful. The finest clothes can turn to rags. Though you celebrate, dissatisfied people are present at the feast. And of course, Libra, the reason why we need to be careful, and I think this even showed up in one of the readings for previous week, I believe. Basically, it's 3rd week, or is it second week of January. When you have a victory, there is always somebody who is jealous. Okay, there's always people who are jealous, and there's always people who don't believe you deserved it, and there's always people who are coming from that kind of energy. All right, and so if you some of you may have come into some winnings, for example, even if you won a little bit in the lottery, if you won some in the court, in a certain lawsuit, if you received a big bonus, I would stay modest and keep it to yourself and not boast. Basically, the moral of this story goes, be very careful, tread carefully around the people that surround you. So there's another one that's changing as well, and it's the third one. It took 3 years of exhausting work to conquer this dangerous territory. Inferior people couldn't have done it, so don't give in to their demands for reward. See, that's why it's important to read. I'm going to read it again. So the first one says, it took 3 years of exhaustive work for you to conquer this accomplishment, okay, this dangerous territory. Inferior people couldn't have done that, but you did. So don't give in to the demands of people who are asking for reward when they didn't deserve it. And people may be jealous because of this reason. So Libra, these messages can teach us quite a bit here. Now, this is the energy that's showing up for January. Basically, an energy very much of victory and you being in the state of victory, a completion. That's what I would say for number 63. Because number 64 is actually, number 64 is kind of like towards the end, the incomplete. I think I was wrong earlier. So number 63 is complete and number 64 is towards the end, not quite complete. So this is actually a good hexagram to receive. And then it could change to this hexagram, 17. I'm just going to look it up because I'm curious. Normally, the way you read this, I believe, is you would stop here, you would read these 2 lines and you would stop here, which is already enough a message. But I am one of those people who is like, well, what does that mean? I want to know everything. Okay, so we're going to go to number 17. I don't think it's a fortunate one, a very auspicious one, but I don't remember. Oh, yes, it is. I'm sorry. I did write it down. Inspiring followers. Okay, so I don't know my hexagrams yet. That's obvious. To learn how to lead, you must first learn how to serve. A follower becomes the leader. To learn how to serve is to secure voluntary assent from followers. If you obtain your followers through force or cunning, by conspiracy or division, or your leadership will be short-lived. There will be movements of resistance against you. Force them and they will resist. Serve them and they will serve you. Reward loyalty with generosity. Trust in your own excellence, and yet for there to be sincere trust, you must fully embody and demonstrate that excellence. So I think this is important to understand here too, to take into consideration. What I think this is telling us is that if you have won respect of others, let's say you have won a promotion, let's say you won a bonus, let's say you won a leadership position someplace, or you just won trust of your friend, you won trust of another person through a lot of work, through a lot of dedicated, building a relationship, for example, and you've earned their trust. It's very hard to keep that trust sometimes if we are not being truthful, if we're not being sincere. And so it's easy, to break that trust by just making one little mistake. So instead of being forceful, we need to be sincere, and generous. This is what is basically telling us. And let me see the meaning of it here. I have so many different books now. I think I have more. I'm just trying to see different interpretations. Following, And this is the meaning here: following a lead, leading a following. So from following a lead, Libra, you may be turning, your energy will be turning into leading a following. So I know that there are some Libras, a lot of Libras out there, who are looking to expand, and I know that some of you are leaders in whatever field you excel at, Libra. So I think that this is very appropriate, the message that we received today, for what I've been feeling lately, what's been in the air. And I want to say congratulations to those who have achieved certain heights. And if it's nothing like climbing a corporate ladder, if it's more of a personal growth, you know, gaining trust of friends, gaining new friendships because people trust you, then, you know, more power to you. It doesn't have to be all about money, right? So there's a certain cause here, Libra, that's more than just money. Okay, this is beautiful. This one says here, whether you lead or whether you follow, let yourself be led now, for following brings supreme success. However, do not be led astray. You must take only that path you know to be right and follow it to the end. Wow. Okay, Libra, both of these hexagrams are very auspicious, beautiful energy here. So celebrate your victories, Libra. Celebrate your accomplishments, because I'm definitely seeing here, and that's what the I Ching is telling us today. All right, I hope you enjoyed this message, Libra. Let me know what you think about this. Does this resonate at all? What is your experience with I Ching? Have you ever tried to do a reading for yourself? Is it accurate? I will be honest, when I first did my very, very first reading, I mean, I received a revolution hexagram, I believe. No, it was progress. I asked about my main energy for 2024, and what I received was progress, basically moving forward. And I was ecstatic about this meaning, about this message, because that is exactly where I want to be, and that's exactly what I wanted to see in my personal life, my professional life. So, and then I've also received another message later on, which was revolution, meaning that there are some changes required. And I do know that there are some changes required in my personal life. I'm just sharing that with you. And I think that there will be changes happening here, even if I don't do it myself. So, Libra, I found this to be very accurate. Of course, it depends on the book you get. Look it up on the internet. There's a lot of different interpretations of the same hexagrams, and I am actually looking forward to receiving more books on the subject, or borrowing more books from the library and seeing which book really speaks to me more, which interpretations really speak to me more. But overall, I find this fascinating and very accurate, and I think I will be incorporating this in like a bonus reading for Libras every month. All right, Libra, thank you so much for being here. Thank you always for your support. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet, because I'll be posting more of these readings. And share any kind of, if I did something wrong, or if you don't agree with the way I did this reading, I am open to criticism. Let me know in the comments. Thank you, Libra, and I will talk to you later. Stay blessed.